Alright, so things are not going according to plan in the fish room as I'd like, and I'll show you guys in just a moment what's going on in there, but oh my goodness, it's bright. That's better. Alright, so I'm just not liking the way things are looking, so I'll show you guys what's going on. Let's go and take a look. So we come in here. I've got a chair sitting out here. I've been sitting here the last few days. Well, not like constantly 24/7 just sitting there, but I've been sitting there thinking about stuff for quite a bit, just looking at the tanks and seeing what I want to do with this room. So in the last video I did a tour of this room and I told you guys some of the plans I want to do with this room. I definitely want to put walls in here so that I can regulate the temperature in this room using air conditioners because it gets cold during the winter and hot during the summer, and I don't want to heat and cool each individual tank because it'll just cost too much to run, so I want to heat the room. Now one thing I did change, I moved these rainbow fish into this little 2-foot tank. It's a bit too small for them, but you can see they're doing fine. I'm thinking about rehoming those guys if I can find them a better home, because I want to take this tank down and I want to restart it, just change it up. I'm not liking the way this tank is going right now. The plants, they're doing alright, but I'm not so sure what's wrong. I just don't think I put enough nutrients. I could put root tabs in, but I just rather restart because I also want this tank to be up on this shelf. And then on the bottom, I want to put some large rocks in there, and I'll show you guys just right now. But I want to put these ginormous rocks. This is just my DIY CO2, by the way. It's not what you think it is. So I want to put these rocks into that bottom tank. So you can see this is a pretty large rocks and it's really heavy. So I want those rocks, you can see it's like a scape that I just put up. Ignore all this messy stuff. That's just from me cleaning up the garden. But yeah, I want to put those rocks on this bottom section. If I put the rocks up here, it's not going to be so stable. The heavy stuff should be down at the bottom, so I want that there. And I'm thinking, let me take a seat here, of doing an African cichlid tank right here. And then up top, we'll have the beautiful planted tank. So I'm gonna definitely be restarting this tank, but right now, I'm just not so sure how I'm gonna do all this stuff because I've got to remove the plants out. I'm thinking about putting the plants just temporarily into this tank, maybe put some soil in there and just let the plants grow for a little while because the crypts are doing amazing. Well, some of them. Like on this side, you can see they're doing good, but on this side, not too good. There's some that are doing alright, but they're not all looking too good, and I've got one guppy in there. This guy had a bent tail, a deformity, so I didn't want him breeding with the other guppies, so I just moved him in here. This guy, we got all the 𝗂𝗶𝗀𝘀𝘀𝘀 redworms out. He was sick, and if you watch my short video of the 𝗂𝗶𝗀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 redworms, you could just see those worms wiggling out of his butt, so that was not nice, but we got it all out. He's eating perfectly fine, and he's on the road to recovery, so I'm really happy about that. So I'm gonna take this tank down, and we're gonna move this rack out, because when we put walls in, they said they need at least 60 centimeters of space, at least 2 feet of space to work. So we need to move this out 60 centimeters, which will be around here. So yeah, we're gonna be a little bit cramped, but we need to put the walls in. I still haven't decided the guys that I'm gonna get me to help with the walls, but I'm hoping we can get it done really soon so I can continue with the fish tank projects. Right here, the bichers are looking good in that small tank. We've got the goldfish as well. The goldfish are soon, ignore my slippers, but the goldfish are soon going to go out in the pond. The pond should be arriving today or tomorrow, so I'll show you guys quickly once again. I showed you in the tour video as well, but here we go. So the messy garden, I've got to still trim more weeds. Look at all those weeds. But yeah, it's just crazy out here. So we're gonna go and put the pond. Look at this, this is pretty interesting. I just put some of my rotella trimmings in here and they started to grow immersed. So pretty cool stuff. But yeah, right here the weeds are starting to grow back already. They just grow like crazy. So I'm planning to put like a plastic sheet down to control the weeds from growing around the pond. And we're gonna probably move this rock to the side a little bit, and I'll have the pond somewhere out here. It's a 4-foot pond, so it's quite big, but it's not that tall, so I might put some cinder blocks underneath to raise it up a little bit, but we'll have to see about that when the pond arrives. So this is the garden, the overgrown jungle, as I like to call it. And yeah, and I think once we get the pond out here, I'll definitely be spending more time out here. We can clean this garden up more, and maybe I can do some rice fish biotope style ponds out here. I think that'll be pretty fun. We've got some trash around here too, so gotta pick those up and clean. I don't know why it's so messy around here. But yeah, that is the overgrown jungle. But yeah, just take a look at these rocks. They're amazing, and these are rocks I just picked out from the street. One of the rock centers or home construction centers just nearby me, 5 minutes away from me. They just had a bunch of rocks lying around, and I asked them, can I buy these? And he's like, just take them. So I got these rocks for free. Some are like a sandstone-y type of rock, and then these ones, I'm not too sure. It's like, I have no clue. I don't think it's sandstone, but if you guys know, let me know. Maybe it is. It's like, I don't know, but yeah. Alright, so back in the fish room. We've got to really make this room nice and good looking. The endlers, life bearers, the babies are starting to put some color. Some I'm able to tell are going to be males, like this guy right here I think is a male. He's starting to show some color, so that's pretty interesting. And yeah, here's a beautiful looking male right there. They look so good under the 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀, light, so I'm really loving that. I decided to get more dwarf neon rainbows, so these are the ones I had originally for a few months. You can see they're big. Well, they're not that big, but they've got color. And then yesterday I went out and got a few more dwarf neon rainbows. They're much smaller. I think these are the guys, but you can see the size comparison compared to like this guy right here. See that? Small and big. And then we've got the turquoise rainbows. Turquoise are looking good. So yeah, we've got some nice rainbow fish. The pleco is still in here. He comes out in the evening. So he comes out in the evening and likes to stay under that wood. And I feed him pellets as well as bloodworms and brine shrimp. Yeah, so that is pretty interesting. We've got the guppies here. The guppies are looking really, really nice. I want to definitely selectively breed these, line breed them, because these are not the best quality tuxedo koi guppies. Like the females, they don't have that much red. Their tails aren't looking that amazing, so yeah, I definitely want to line breed these. And I see like one male right here. This male has a beautiful red nose, but the other ones, they don't have that, so I definitely want to pick this guy out as a breeder and try to get all my tuxedo koi guppies looking close to this guy, because the reds on this guy's face is just incredible. And I know it's hard to see, I'm sorry about that, but we'll definitely get much better shots of these guys soon in the future. You can also see all the tiny little fry that are in this tank together with them. So I was just working on this. Take a look at the root growth. So it's been growing pretty well. I thought they weren't growing that well, but turns out the roots are growing healthily, so that's a good sign. But take a look at what has just arrived over there. Look at that. Let's go and take a look. This is super exciting. Wow, that is actually pretty big. Look at these. You've got the drain caps right here. There's a hole drilled out, so you can either plug it up or you can use it as an overflow. But this is it. They only had blue, so I had no choice but to go with the blue color. Now that is pretty darn big. Can't wait to get it out there. Okay, so this is where we're at now. I've moved all the crypts out of this tank. We've still got a few plants left, but some of the crypts I moved into this 1 foot cube tank, and you can see I've moved the filter as well. I'm probably most likely sure that the crypts in here are going to melt. That's not going to be fun to watch, but it's alright, they'll grow back. And then the rest of the crypts I moved into my 4-foot aquascape tank, and they'll be there temporarily. But now what I'm doing is I'm removing these floating plants, and they are just ginormous. Look at this. Guys, if you know what plant this is, please let me know in the comments down below. It's a type of water sprite, but I'm not exactly sure which type. I don't know if this is broadleaf or if it's just the regular type, but it is giant. Look how big these leaves are. It's just a ginormous water sprite. So it's starting to get dark out now. You can see the tank is empty. This is what I've got done today, and the floors are all completely wet, so that's no fun. But yeah, the tank is now nice and empty. I'm gonna dry it out, and I'll probably move it up onto this part of the rack. So I have to clear this all out, or I'll just get another one of these tanks, because this rack was made for 2 of these 4-foot tanks. But I don't know if I want to go out and buy one of these right now, because this tank is pretty pricey. It's over $100, close to $200 I think, and we don't have the $1 per gallon sale here that I know you guys in America do, so I'm jealous of that, because if we had that, this tank would be around $60. So yeah, it kind of sucks that we don't have that sale. But anyways, the lights have all turned off. I'm preparing to clean up and pack up. But yeah, you can just see the rainbow fish. They're looking really good even though the lights are off. Look at this guy. Beautiful. But yeah, I still have one plant right here, the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝘀𝘀. The leaves are at least 3 feet long, so I'm not so sure where I'm going to put that plant right now. For now, it's just in that bucket. I've got to find a tank where I can put that, but yeah, I'll see you guys in a little while. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a rainy day today. Pretty gloomy out there. Right here, this is my 4-foot tank. I've put some of the crypts in these pots, and yeah, right now this tank is just a mess. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over to the fish room, and we're going to use this sponge right here, the magical sponge, and we're going to get all that remaining water out of the 4-foot tank. Alright, so here it is, the blue sponge. I should have a link to something similar to this in the description below, so go check it out. But this is one of the best things ever, because if you take a look, excuse my foot reflections, but you can see there's this little bit of water that couldn't get siphoned out. You grab this sponge right here, just stick it in, and it'll absorb all that water on its own. Just take a look at the sponge, if this thing will focus. You can see it absorbing. Pretty satisfying as well. So now it's fully, well, maybe not fully, but just wait a little while. It'll absorb more of that water. And you grab this, pull this out, and you can just wring it out. That is great. The tank is now completely empty. I got that done much quicker than I had anticipated, so that's awesome. Now the plan is to move this tank up, or yeah, probably move it up, because I want to get the planted tank done before I do the African cichlid tank. I don't know when that will be. That will be soon in the future, I'm sure. Maybe in the next few weeks or a few months. But we're definitely gonna get the walls in. That is where I'm going to end today's video. I know this room is looking like a complete disaster, but just stay with me here. Subscribe if you're not already, because we're gonna make this room look much, much better. More tanks coming your way, more scapes. I am 100% sure about that. We're gonna be making this room look nicer. We're gonna clean all this up, and we're gonna make this fish room look epic. So if you're not yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys next time.